Because I'm so wrong. To reset my feet because I'm so wrong. I'm in the middle of a flat, completely flat area in the surrounded by cell phone towers. My feed is all laggy, not working. It's so insane just how obvious this all is, and then it's still such a hard fight to get to see it. I so easily by the people who, gain from our us fighting and shit. They gain from our loss. They gain from the distraction. And it's not even a question. The fact that the United States made it illegal to desecrate an Israeli flag. You can burn an American flag. You can desecrate an American flag. It won't be received well, but it's not illegal. Yet the United States has made it has stated that the Israeli flag represents a symbol of the Jewish race. We're not talking about a fucking race of people though. How many of you can change your shit to Chinese? You can just be like, all right, I'm Chinese now. I talk a ragged this, and I got my eyes closed. Oh, look, I'm a Chinese. Does anybody think that that's legitimate? I can convert my race? Do you believe in race conversion? And if you do, like, you're really stupid, but I'd love to hear it. It just doesn't make any sense. Like, did you guys know that Alan Dershowitz, oh, piece of shit, Alan, he fought for people he fought for people's rights to watch child exploitation materials. He fought for people's rights to watch snuff films. Like, this is a man who supposedly is this champion of the First Amendment and shit. Yet start talking about Israel and see how he responds. And it's the same response as anything else. I've never had some friar, some Jew come through and be like, hey man, I heard you thought some things about us. I wanted to set you straight. I wanted to talk to you about these misconceptions you have. It's literally never happened. You can learn about it, learn to speak it, move there, but you're not able to convert. You're just not Japanese. Exactly. That's what a race is. A race of people, the Japanese people, they're a race. They have their own identity. They have their own, I mean, it's just, and it's black people, it's whatever. Just because you decide that you're going to start sagging your pants, because, what it means to be black are just a horrible bunch of stereotypes. I can't stand it. I can't fucking stand it. But let's just go with it, right? So you start sagging your pants, you start wearing dumb jewelry, big giant shirts and shit. You start speaking like you're fucking, special. I mean, how I remember it. This is the craziest part is I remember when the South was turned into what it is. And so much of it goes back to Nelly and specifically Murphy Lee. because there was the Air Force Ones, that song. And it wasn't Nelly that first started talking like that. It was Murphy Lee. And Murphy Lee had that verse, I got an old school colors with a hole in the earth. TVs are where what grains of star. And it was like, people didn't talk like that. Eminem even made the song Square Dancing and shit like that. Because this shit just happened. And for some reason, black people heard these idiots talking like that and said, you know what? I never spoke like this before, but I'm gonna start talking like this now. And then there's the the whole screets. I'm from these screets. I got that scrimp. I'm gonna eat some scrimp. There's that part. Then there's the New York part where, yo, brother, what's up, brother? What's up, done, son? My mother told me the other day, you know, like these idiotic, identifiable ways of speaking. You're identifiable. And it's not just identifiable as, a color. It's identifiable as a mindset, a mentality. You're really stupid if you choose to speak like that. You can convince 50 scholars with one fact. You can't convince one fool with 50 facts. I don't know if that's a knock against me, but if anybody wants to provide me facts, I'd love to hear them. But religion is a choice. Race is by birth. Yeah. So the idea that Jews are a race is just not a true statement. If people can convert to your thing, then it's not a fucking race. I haven't heard of any new age black person converting to Judaism. But, guys like Sammy Davis Jr. and chicks like Nell Carter, they were. And I'm sure there's a lot more. I just don't know about them. But when there have been, black Jews before, well, then I'm not going to go with the idea that it's a race.
Smoke. Eric said it was fine. He's got those pockets.
Damn.
Yeah, I know I can't rap. And being half black, my hair...
What do you think about Charlie Kirk's assassination? I think there are a lot of questions to be answered. I don't know what else to, I can't be definitive because the system, the narrative I'm given don't make no sense. Like, what people don't realize, people say, yo, everything's a conspiracy theory, blah, blah. No, it's not. There are plenty of situations that happen all the time that aren't, they're straightforward. They're not conspiracy theories. There's no shit that's wrong with the narrative or no weird ass holes in the narrative that are able to be focused on. Charlie was a piece of shit. But there's the book that was available the day before. And even if you were to say, oh, it was actually available that day, or even the next day, for somebody to have knocked that shit out that quickly, boy, that would be incredible. But the fact is, it was available beforehand. There's the guys standing to his right that are doing all the weird hand signals. There's the one guy that looks like he might have a gun, underneath his crossed arms and shit. But most importantly, or at least most significantly, is the thing in his shirt. What the hell is going on with his shirt? Well, because I'm not a straight Christian white male,
Just admit you're a paid shoe.
or at least a guy who pretends to be straight, obviously.
If you're just a
But you know, Charlie wasn't for me.
you have no
Charlie was a race baiting, hate mongering.
bully them too.
His last words were gang violence.
Why are you attacking that thing you openly deny? If I'm scared of the sky, so be it. There are people
I
who
don't
say
support anybody who's not
Israel
speaking out
racist
against
for touching
Palestine or
babies.
against the Israelis and what's going on in Palestine.
In the sickest of
Well, on a
supermarkets,
human level, he's being murdered over your words shouldn't happen, especially not in America. Goes against our whole gig. Freedom of speech is our right. Shouldn't die exercising it.
wasn't it cool watching World Cup in
Sure.
Rio? There are
And
people
and it's like I don't know like what you're insinuating
we grow
as to who did
everywhere,
it,
yet it's
but
fair to
he
throw you
he
a
you know
needle
in
full
my
of holes
mind
then, as long as you cover
Israel
it.
gave him his position to begin with so that they could eventually kill him.
Until next time. But to
From
use
what
your
I've
own
learned about the
words,
system and how things
he's
work,
simply yelling
like that wasn't just some random guy. Just some random guy left the bullet or left the gun, the shell casings with the scribbles, the trans in the I mean it's a completely manufactured narrative. And when you look at Kirk's past, he was created by Israel. If you look at his donor list, it reads like a fucking bar mitzvah sign-in sheet. This guy was created by them. We wouldn't know who Charlie Kirk was if they didn't want us to know who he was. He wouldn't have had his position if they didn't want him to have his position.
Would you do that? Average
And
Joe
so to think
Sigman.
that
Would you set a trap, then attack
it
with it?
definitely wasn't, us. We
This
didn't
is
do
like
it. No matter
cursing
what
me
patsy they
because I
put
swear
forth, no
before
matter
you
anything.
smile in my face.
We didn't do that shit.
Would you
They
proudly
did that shit.
disgrace the base of your argument, continually
And
siding with your
until all the
companion?
questions are answered, and
Would
you
you
can provide me with a definitive, well, it was just this lone gunman, blah, here is undeniable evidence.
would you proudly
Even then, at this
disavow
point,
or shoot my
I'm so
dual-use
skeptical.
ammunition?
What are you going to say? They found a manifesto.
Voice against?
He had a manifesto, and in the manifesto, there was anti Semitic this, and, just like it always is.
Doesn't exist. Why would you insist on getting all pissed, pretending what I'm sending is so dangerous? Why would you shame
How
someone
so?
just to make
Isn't it just
yourself feel
happenstance
better?
when he was already
Someone's a
big
bit
back in
better
the
for
day
something less
with all
clever
the
is
trans
making a
debates and shit?
big bait something you
They have
never
CCTV of the shooter on the
experienced.
roof
Bully
and
people.
fleeing after the shot.
That's
Yeah, so
one
you're
hell
told.
of a steep hill. Only the
See,
worst
this is the difference. Again, you trust the system who lies to you. I've gotten past that point. You know, it just doesn't work for me anymore. Go look up the Wikipedia summarization of the San Bernardino shooting. See if that shit makes any sense to you. Look at the Las Vegas shooting. Look at the Pulse nightclub shooting, which was the #1 shooting up until the Las Vegas shooting, the largest, mass shooting in the history of the United States. And there's not a single fucking, nobody talks about it. Apparently it was some gay guy, so nobody gives a shit. The Las Vegas shooting clearly isn't what they tell us it is. Look at that shit. It's just normal stuff right there, guys. Just normal cloud activity. This isn't anything to do with HARP or anything like that. Just no, bro. It was the Jewish space laser. Sure, it was. I mean, again, you. At what point do you draw the line? The difference between you and I is your arrogance. Because I guarantee you're not going to sit here and tell me that Oswald shot Kennedy, fired off 3 shots in 8 seconds with a bolt-action rifle, 3 impossible shots, one of which was the magic bullet. You actually believe the Kennedy narrative? Your answer is going to be no. Nobody does. So basically, at that point, you're willing to say the government lied to me, is lying to me, did lie to me, will forever lie to me. But then at the same time, you're going to be like, oh, the narrative that they tell me about Charlie, that one's true. The narrative they tell you about the shape of the earth, that's true. You know, it's crazy how people just they just refuse. Like the whole idea that it's the Jews doing it. Why don't you think that way? What reason do you have to think that they're not? Like it makes sense, right? You're 0.183% of the world's population, and yet not only do you have you know, this obsession with power and control, you actually have the power and the control, but you're not physically superior, you're not even mentally superior. So how do you maintain this position of power and decadence and, you know, free lives? Their lives are free healthcare, free education, free housing. You know, what do you like? What more do you need to see? And why doesn't it make sense to you? One small group is in this tremendous position of power and prestige, and they're going to do everything they can to not lose that position. Of course, that's how that works. You know, and when you look at the you know, the mental gymnastics that have to be done to maintain that position, they can't physically overpower us. They can't physically have their 2,800 slaves each. So it has to be a mental thing. So you think there are a group of people that killed him, so what's the evidence for that theory? I mean, it exists. It exists. This is something we're told to focus on. This is something that hasn't disappeared. Like, think about if the Trump shooting had this much coverage and this much, you know, this much, I wouldn't say evidence, but still, like, first of all, when it comes to the Kirk shooting, there should be a gazillion cell phone videos. There was 1,000+ people there. There should be at least 1,000 cell phone videos. It's 2025, right? You know, if you watch anything, concert, any speaker, anything, you'll see a sea of cell phones. So where are all the cell phone videos of it? And the Kirk shooting to me is it reminds me of the Trump shooting in so many different ways. The Trump shooting was as goofy as it gets. There are, bro. You got to look for them. Yeah, right, exactly. I have to look for them. But there's not 1,000 of them. There's a few. And when it comes to the Trump shooting, there's none. Show me a fucking cell phone video from the actual shooting, not from at the event where people are walking around filming for no reason. And you hear the gunshots in the background. He was pro-Israel, is why would they? Who? He was a goyim. At the end of the day, Charlie Kirk was a goyim. So to sacrifice a goyim is not a big deal for them. If it was a Jew that got killed, I'd be a lot more surprised. If it was Ben Shapiro, damn, it wasn't. But if it was Ben Shapiro, that would have been really surprising. I don't think there's any deer and then some cook with a gun wanted to kill Charlie for hunting their feelings, for hurting their feelings. I mean, that's what you're supposed to think, right? Some kook with a gun. Isn't that what it always is? It's some kook with a gun.
Look, Mommy, there's an airplane up in the sky.
And never mind all the shit to the contrary. You just believe what you want to believe. I think it'd be really interesting to look at what's happened in Israel the last couple of days, or what's happened in Palestine at the hands of the Israelis the last couple of days. I would imagine there's probably been an uptick in the killing. Maybe some shit was passed, something that we weren't supposed to focus on because we were focused on Charlie. Justice for Charlie. Oh, absolutely. Ben Shapiro all day long. Why would they, if he was one of the biggest Israel advocates? The videos are out there. I've seen at least 5 different angles. To be fair, that's no 1,000 videos. But what would even be the reasoning to suppressing that? What do you mean? What is the reason to suppress the evidence? Because it goes against the narrative. But Charlie Kirk was, he's one of their biggest advocates. So this man was advocating for the genocide of children and just innocent people. I'm sorry, but advocating for the genocide of people it should get you killed. I mean, what the fuck? I have zero sympathy for him after, comparing it to all the 400,000 plus people that have been killed by Israel. You only care about Charlie because he's a white Christian. If Charlie would have been some black guy, Black Lives Matter guy, this, that, and the other, literally all of you white guys wouldn't have shit to say about it. Other than stuff, well, he deserved it. He, all the Charlie Kirk shit. It's an anti-white group. You just don't get it. And it's because you don't want to. Matter of fact, I think you do get it. You just convince yourself not to because the alternative is scary. It's scary to think that there's actually is this group out there that wants us to be slaves, that wants our demise, that wants us to be stupid. Yeah. Yeah, but what narrative? I always strongly dislike them as well, but I don't think you should die over words, And I don't think we killed him. I think he was his entire existence was to be killed. Israel built him up. Israel gave him his platform. Israel gave him his coverage. And then Israel used him to further their agenda. It's really simple. I'm Mexican and Norwegian. Best of both worlds, right? 2 white for the browns and 2 brown for the whites. Yeah, I know the feeling. No, I don't think we're talking about the rich. I don't think the rich are bad. And see, that's the thing. Again, that's a mental, it's a mental attack. That people think the rich are bad. So then you think, well, wait, I don't want to be bad. It's a way to make you think like being rich is a bad thing. And it's not. Not all rich people are bad. At the same time, where are all the rich people speaking out against the genocide? I think rich people are selfish. It's probably how they got to be rich in the first place. Yet lizard people in our walls, again, yeah, that's what I say all the time. The funniest thing about the whole lizard people thing is you literally get all of the same shit if you just switch lizard people and Jews. Controlling the world, this, that, and the other. Even the idea of shape-shifting. Not necessarily a physical thing, not a literal thing, but a figurative shapeshifter. When you look at the hip-hop industry, some of the biggest producers are these white kids, these white Jews who, yo, 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 they talk like this, yo, 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 Michael Rappaport, yo, yo, yo. Why is the lizard people such a prominent thing and we're allowed to talk about it? But the Jews being in control of everything, I mean, just the idea that we all think we're not supposed to say the Jews have all the money and the power and the control because that's some sort of slur. How is that a negative thing? Other than what it essentially means, which is things could be different, you choose not to make them different, being is how you have all the money and the power and the control. There's that part. But other than that, that's not a slur. That's not a negative. Oh, a bunch of money and power and control. Ooh, got stuck. What? He was being mind controlled by the Jews and they killed him because he was breaking control. No. The stuff that he ended up saying about Israel was what he was told to say. Charlie said what he was told to say. He did what he was told to do. He wouldn't be where he was without it. The fact that he was on his comeback tour, where did he go? Where was he? And then you get Netanyahu makes about how, how they were such good friends and all this shit. So what, Netanyahu's just, what, pretending? For what reason? It's all by design. Huh? You're stupid. You've already proven that. Why would I ever believe it? Until I believe something you want me to believe. What a stupid ass. He wasn't cool. He was a piece of shit. He was a sexist. He was a racist. He was homophobic. He was all of the things that I am absolutely against. And the thing is, all of those things are things that, like, other people's race, other people's sexual preference, unless it's children, of course, but other people's, that shouldn't affect you. What do you care? Why do Christians always get so mad at non-Christians? What does it matter? I've literally had Christians tell me the reason why hurricanes hit Florida so often is because there are so many people that aren't Christian. When Florida is full of not just Christians, but Jews of all things. And to think that God is making everyone suffer because, And the reality is your whole belief structure is just based in arrogance. Everything you think and say and believe is based in arrogance. Acknowledgement of our truth. Conspiracy provocative for the layman's ear. Our society is too sheltered nowadays. It's negative in being to know where the puppet strings are being pulled. So Charlie being a father and husband, that overrides the fact that he advocated for the there's husbands, sons, fathers, children, parents, grandparents, all of it. Fuck him. But you want to talk about it on some weird level. Like, you want to talk about it on the level that it must have been some trans liberal, I don't know, lone gunman kook. When I want to look deeper into it, there's just a difference between